Hello, namaskar dear. It's May the 30th, 2024. It's around 5:30 p.m. now. I'm just gonna talk about the things, the festive things in the area. All the holidays just passed away. Independence Day, so we're moving into June. We're going into some serious social work, serious job related activities now. 5 days a week, and during this time, people contemplate a lot about religion, about God, because in their daily life, they will have to face so many things, so many challenges. So at times, they will think about something higher, something that will take them through this difficult phase, and so on. So, as regular, ordinary people, we have to contend with sometimes forces that we don't know about. Invisible forces, mysterious forces, also physical forces, intellectual forces that we might or might not be capable of handling. And in those cases, we might need somebody's shoulder to brace upon, somebody strength to stand upon, and not all of us are always lucky to have somebody, where we can relate to, or who can understand us, our situation, our life, who can see eye to eye, man to man. This calls for, in a cognito, it means like people being matured, people being developed, and so on. So when it comes to the spiritual life, people worship various elements, various factors, various entities, various beings. For example, they say those with at the fourth stage of worship, people they worship spirits, they worship um, beings that reside in the Muladhara, Swadhisthana, and Heart Chakra. They worship these kind of beings, propitiate them to conquer enemies, to get rich, to get beautiful, to get money, to get material things and material benefit, even revenge and power, and to kill people. And so, they worship. And the second stage, the holy books say there are people who worship humans. They worship rishis, gurus, saints, bodhisattvas, Buddha. And then the next stage, the highest stage is when people worship the god and goddesses. They worship, and even beyond that, there's another stage where you have to go beyond the physical, the murti, the object of worship. Like we know Ramakrishna had to go beyond Kali. When you see the god as an being, as an image, a figure, that's saguna worship. If you go into beyond the physical, it's more like transcending, being transcendental, to experience consciousness, to experience the phenomenon of interconnectedness, which is known as non-dualism, monotheism. Those are the stances of Nirbija Samadhi or Nirvikalpa Samadhis. So people at various level of consciousness, they play, they're dancing around everywhere. It's like what the physicists would say, the whole of creation is a pulsating quasars of energy, life dance, energy dancing in motion. Sometimes they interact, sometimes they go off alone, sometimes they merge and then separate with more power, more energy, differences, and more brighter and more adorned, and so on. So in this way, we merge with various philosophies, we dance with various circumstances in life, with various stories and ballads, and out of these circumstances and these lila, we come out may come out in rich, or we may come out um, for the worse. It all depends on what we are aiming for. So we have like the yoga practices. There are different planes in the body. There are 8 chakras or 7 chakras. There's guru chakra now, where they say the guru is living. The Sadguru is living just below the Sahasrara chakra. And if you wake up in the morning and you ideate on the guru there, as soon as your eye open, before doing anything, seeing anything else, you meditate on him. They say it can bring good luck in your everyday life and so on. This is according to the what the teaching called the Guru Samhita, or the um, Guru Samhita, or the Guru books, dealing with the holy books. They tell you that see the Guru seated in a white lotus at the crown of the head. That's a very good way to start the day. Some people use the deities, the gods. Depends on what they like. And some people use the orishas. So, for example, every culture, every entity, they have various deities and gods, and you can see this depicted in the followings and the followers. You know, for example, even Africans, people wonder why their personality is like that. But the gods, if you study this little story of the gods and the character profiles of the gods, Papa Legua and all these guys, they have the same personality as you see being modeled by this particular sect of human, this particular species. But as the story goes, God is in everything. He uses everything for his mission to be complete. The Anandama Guru Shanamurtiji, he said even if he has to use the stones, the goats, the animals to have his mission done, it can be done, that nobody can stop it, because he can use the inanimate and animating consciousness. God consciousness is everywhere. It flows, the chitta, the consciousness is everywhere. So all these can be animated. So depending on what you want, people do devotional practices and they do worship to achieve various ends. They want wealth. There's a technique there, methodology in the old books, the holy books, how you can get it. You want name, you want education, intellect, all this. But you have to have the teachers who can teach you them, and somebody who can, illustrate the practices and the mechanism of doing it. So not everybody want the highest. People say, I just want God alone. Take wealth. No, 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 no. I want the highest, supreme. Take education. No, no, no. I don't want that. I want the supreme. Become a richest man in the world. No, no, no. I don't want that. This we can see exemplified in the life of Swami Vivekananda. When he had a crisis at home, they had money for his family. The family were financially disadvantaged. He go to his Guru Ramakrishna. Ramakrishnaji said, oh, don't worry, go to Mother Kali at the temple Dakshineshwar, pray to her, ask her for wealth, you will get. So Vivekananda go there, but when he's going in front of the mother, he couldn't find himself asking for wealth or money. He said, Mother, give me devotion. That's what he asked for, right? Give me devotion. So you see what he became. So it's got to affect this gurus, the great gurus say, if it's anything you should ask God for, ask him for devotion or love of God. It's a very rare attribute, devotion. So Shusha Nandamurti said this. He said devotion is a rare quality. Not many people have it. And those who have it, they're very fortunate, they're very lucky, they're blessed. So the devotional quality, the element of love for the Supreme, for God, being the only thing in life, being a very dominant trait of a personality, is very rare. People have that dominant trait of strength, of skill, maybe in cricket, maybe in sports, maybe in dancing, maybe in cooking, maybe in intellectual mathematics, in medicine, in something, right? Everybody has some skill in something, electronics, physics or something. But few are those that have the trait of loving God. of having that quality of, and it can be developed, those geniuses like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Jesus Christ and Ramakrishna, these people born with such great percentage of devotional energies, the conclusion of the mystic is that they came with it from past lives, in many lives before they were practicing this chanting and love of God, and in one life they become a great personality. It's like practicing maths in past life. So in this life you're born as a prodigy, a mad genius, or a technician, like Rishi Ramram was saying, there's the intellectual plane, there's the astral plane, there's the spiritual plane. Though our intellectual planes are people who exercise their faculties in things with the hands and skills and intellect, they're born in the intellectual plane. But those of the spirit, they're born in spiritual plane and places that can foster their activity and works and so on. So we have Yoga International Days coming up, and we do hope this will be a wonderful event again to remind people of the power and the magic of yoga. I wouldn't say magic; it's a very scientific process. So Vivekananda said it's the greatest science that the world has received, and it is yoga science. It's the process where it transforms you. If you're a bad person, a deceitful, stubborn person, whatever you are, but yoga and yoga satsang company, yoga studies daily as a way of life, every day, it can pull you up, it can pull the mind up, it can give you a new life, it can give you benefits for the body, the soul, the spirit, Swami Sivananda, he was saying that the whole world came out of yoga, that out of penance of the mystic and Hiranyagarbha, the world took shape, the world took form. So he said also there's no power higher than yoga. He said people, they try all kind of things to cure themselves, to make themselves better, to make themselves exceptional, to leave a mark on history. They try all kind of things, some by cheating, some by undercover activities, some by deception, some by hard work, some by money. They buy their certificate, they buy laurels of names and fame, some by all means and ways. People beg God, they beg and they get by. But they said that the highest power when everything fails, the highest power is yoga. The greatest power is yoga. But if you want the basic fields in yoga that can give you beauty, health, strength, intellect, success, charm, charisma, like many of the film stars are doing yoga. Mr. Amitabh Bachchan in Bollywood does yoga. Clint Eastwood was doing yoga. Many people do it, and they get benefits, their own benefits, and the books, the holy books have hundreds of ways, thousands of ways, like the Chandi and all these sacred books, how to get self-enhancement, how to free the mind from dogmas, superstition, beliefs, these kind of things that we have dogmas, they're trying to catch you. People like belief, superstition prevent the mind from expanding or being free. Those are people in certain categories of warriors. They use dogmas, superstitions, beliefs, norms, to cloud intellect, to stupefy their opponents. So, but the real yogi is one who is free from all complexes. The mind is free from superiority, from inferiority. The inferiority complex is there to make you feel small. Stephen Leving, the Buddhist teacher, he was saying that some of the most beautiful beings he's ever seen, they suffer from inferiority. Oh, I don't feel right. No, I can't do this. I'm not like this. I can't become like that. So people have that common. The other one is superiority, think they're better than everybody. they're superior than everybody. That's a superiority complex, you know. So the mind should not have anything that can prevent the free flow, the free operation of the mind, any beliefs that that you come from a bad family or you have some jinx, some hex, and you can't do good in life, you can't get this wrong. People, according to teaching of Anandamurti, we are all mini Babas. We just like Anandamurti ji. We all have the potential to be free, to be mystic cleans, to be intelligent, to be geniuses. But the teacher has to show you, there's a really beautiful poem. And the poem's called The Master's Touch. This old violin was there in the shop. People would come and go and buy all kind of antique things, all kind of manner of things they would come to shop and buy in this old shop, you know. Nobody see the worth of old violin leaning against the wall on the shelf. But it takes a master to recognize the beauty of something. It takes an eye, who have the eye for genius, who have the eye for mastership. They can recognize the touch. They can recognize. So this old man one day entered the shop and he picked up this old violin. So the antique shop owner was saying that anybody want this old violin? It's going, it's gone for $1. It's going, it's up for sale. Nobody bidding for it. So eventually it sold off, and the master, people want to know why you were doing that old violin with cobweb, all the strings, it's not so beautiful. So it's an old model. It's not one of these shiny kind of things. So he took it up, tightened the screws, fixed the string, and set everything in place. Then he made one stroke on it, on the old violin. He made one rub, and such beautiful melody came out of it. That's called a master's touch. So the teacher is needed to bring out the best in the spiritual student. And there are various types of teacher. There's the lukewarm, there's the mediocre, and there's the best. Some teachers teach by book knowledge, and they can't give you practical experiences. They inspire you. Those are the lowest class. The second class, they can teach you something, but they can't take you to the highest. And highest class, he can teach you and take you to the highest, and he also sometimes put pressure on you when you're going off away you strain away, or you're going off track. He can use pressure to bring you back. So he's both the mother and the father. Saint Margaret Mary of the Andes. No, that was Saint Teresa of the Andes. No, Saint Margaret Mary from Cortona. She was saying that she had two governesses. One who was always pampering her, everything she wanted. Yes, the governor would give her, and another one would call her something and press her. And later on in her saintly life, when she became a saint and so, she was talking about this story. So which one the governess she liked the best? She said the one who would scold her and pressure her sometimes. So the best kind of teacher would also be mother and father. He would take you to the highest, and he would also sometimes see the bad side of him. So people are not addicted to flattery all the time. They can go very far in a spiritual way. And in likewise way, there are three types of disciple. Some practice on and off, on and off. Some practice, but when the teacher's not there, they don't practice. And the other type is you practice with intensity whether or not the teacher there. He working very hard. So you have the lukewarm, the mediocre, and the best or the highest type of student also. So as the International Day is coming up on the 24th of June, or we're already in June. Time flies so fast, time went by so fast, we had no time to think about Yoga Day and to reminiscence and to plan or to be inspired by these things, cause worldly activity, the ways of the world, the ways of the material life is so encapsulating, so enshrouding, so demanding that we're taken away from our hobbies, our quiet things and small things that give life meaning. Like during the era of Krishna, this was somewhere 3,500 years ago. They say his devotees, while they were working and they were in the house, they would keep their mind fixed on him. This came naturally because he was such an attractive entity that they cannot forget him. The charms he had, the beautiful mannerisms, his good conduct, so on, give birth to a beautiful personality. So people are saying that when you're goody goody and you're religious, you're not the best kind of personality. This is a fallacy. How much of us are attracted to people, to stars, movie stars, to idols, celebrities in those spiritual countries? People who practice spiritual ethics as a way of life, who practice prayers, meditation 4 5 times, who wear culture of religion and godliness is there. We can see the difference. We want to know how they have these qualities, how they achieve so much in their personal life, in the intellectual life, and how they're so different from us. This is because so we can see clearly that the practice of religion don't make us something strange, something different, something dislikable. Rather on the contrary, seeing is believing. Many people don't want to make the jump, but when somebody do make the jump and the benefits start coming, everybody know they want to follow and practice. Yes, yes, yes. So it's like that. We see in Europe where Christianity is prevalent, like Italy, which gave birth to so much saints, Katrina, Therese, and all these saints. We have beautiful personalities and wonderful people are born in the atmosphere there, and we want to go to view those atmosphere, to take pictures like tourists, snap snap, click click. We want to go there. We're so enchanted by the scenes and the shores and the trees and nature, but those things that have been left there, those culture and natural work of art, those are emerged out of mysticism, out of spirituality. So you can also bring that here to your home also, your places, by joining the yoga celebration day, taking your group, your team, joining a group or team and participating under the umbrella of yoga day. So there are many books and that are saying that Jesus practiced yoga and he was missing between the years of 12 to 30. People say that merchants used to come there in his place in Bethlehem, Nazareth, and these places. They would go there, Jerusalem, to sell carpets, spices, incense, and oils, and so on. Rug merchants. And when they go there, Jesus was attracted to the personality, to the qualities of some of these men. He befriended them and they took him away. And there's books you can read like the Aquarium Gospel of Jesus the Christ by Levi, Jesus Live in India by Nicholas Nitovich, and Jesus the Yogi by Swami Abhedananda. Many books have been written, and in fact people have found evidence in Tibet and so on that Jesus went there and he studied with the mystics and he learned healing, he learned meditation, and so on. So that's true, I don't know. The Buddha also, he has been compared, because the equal comparison to Jesus Christ, People are saying that he studied all forms of yoga before going off on his own. He studied Jainism, and he was the best student of all the teachers he studied with. He learned faster than some of the best students in those schools and ashrams, and eventually went on his own and found his own way. He's named Buddha. They say when a yogi or a saint finds a new way, they usually give him the name Maharishi, or a seer, the great seer, Mahayogi, and so on, because he found a new way, new path than those that were existing in the books, showing you how to do this and this to get this and this salvation. So he found a new way on his own, and he became a Buddha, an Arhat. And his enlightened saints are called Bodhisattvas, Arhats, and so on. So Buddha also did yoga. Guru Nanak, founder of Sikhism, was also born in a Hindu home. Traditionally did yoga, but he had a realization that showed him another way, and he assimilated the Indian elements, Hinduism, with his own methodology and gave birth to Sikhism. The Jains also do a lot of yoga. If you read the life story of some of the Jain masters, it's very inspiring. Mahavira, Rishabha, and some of these Jain masters, it's very inspiring. The name Mahavira means great hero. Maha means great. Veer means brave. Very brave heroes, very brave. So they have 24 Tirthankaras, or prophets as they are known. And yoga is a very time-tested methodology, and some of the teachers have been compared to gods according to the words of James Allen, the English mystic, in his book The Power of Positive Thinking, and As a Man Thinketh, and so on, his books. James Allen says some of the teachers of India and the East, they've reached such a high level that they're comparable to the gods. The Jade Emperor, Chinese Jade Emperor, he was cultivating for thousands and thousands of years. Many cycles the earth went through, he was still there meditating, practicing, until now he's the king of the gods, like in Lord Indra, the Chinese Jade Emperor. So then there's a Monkey King, who is the most fascinating Taoist practitioner. He has so much powers, he can transform. He knows 72 transformations. He's very skilled at martial arts, and he fights many demons and defeat them, though he himself was born a demon. So these are all wonderful stories there in those cultures that we spoke about, that influence the people's mind, the way of life and activity. And it brings out beauty in physicality, beauty in the mind, beauty in the spirit. You should also have a spiritual country here in your country, Guyana, in your neighbors in the Caribbean, the West Indies also should strive to bring spiritual culture as a priority. The way of life, the eating, the habits should be spiritually based or spiritually inspired. Like they say, the Jews, they don't keep milk in the same container they would store fish or meat or rankin. So people have sensitivity that make them best subject for spirituality. So hope you can become the best type of person. There are different categories, as I say. Some worship spirit, some worship gurus, some worship the saints, some the bodhisattvas, some worship the gods and goddesses, and some worship beyond the form, so nirguna. So let's strive and ask, if there's anything we ask God, is for devotion. Give me devotion for God or for the divine. Give me that kind of devotion which these Mahatmas, these saints had, that we've read about. Ask for that kind of thing, that we can dance with, singing God's name, we can cry, we can feel spirit. And this kind of emotion heal the body. It brings beauty to our system, brings health, good appetite, good sleep, clear thinking. So if we inculcate this way of life, the emotional quality, the state of mind is good for our bodies and mind and spirit, good for the nature, good for the planet. It brings healing everywhere. So have a beautiful International Day of Yoga 2024. I do hope this one comes off. This election, in the election right at this junction now, and the results are coming out on the 4th of June. Then Guyana is going into election next year, American election, and so on. So we have a lot of business and wars, There are two wars in the country now. People were talking about a World War III. People are under strain and stress. Well, let's hope we find time to remember that we owe ourselves spiritual nourishment. Man cannot live by bread alone. By physical nourishment, yes, and nourish the spirit also. But by the word of God, you cannot live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded from the mouth of the Lord. And the word was made song, and the word was God, and God became the word. So this was what they mean by the word was God, and the word was made flesh and dwelt among men. So whether the word is Om or Amen or Shalom or Hariom or Namah Shiva, there are powers in the words that we can practice to bring the spirit into synchrony with songs and the divine realms and invisible realms and so on. So until then, happy Yoga Day 2024. I think this is the 10th Yoga Day. Namaskar.